If you have a smartphone or a tablet and SharePoint Online, you can use your mobile device to work in SharePoint. You can open and work with documents using the Office 365 apps for your device. You can move between different sites within SharePoint, and you can work with OneDrive for Business. You can accomplish all of this either in a browser or in some cases using specific apps that are created for your device. But we're going to begin with the browser because if I go to Safari, for example, on my iPad, and I enter the URL for my SharePoint site, it's going to open just like this. The URL for my SharePoint site is http:// the name of my site's domain, .sharepoint.com. So landonhotel.sharepoint.com. You will have your domain name in your URL, and you'll be prompted to log in using your name and password for either work or school, wherever you get SharePoint from. Where you land really depends on the apps you have and what device you have. The equivalent of the waffle in SharePoint in a browser is tiles. In the lower left-hand corner, these three boxes, and you'll notice it works just like the waffle. Here's everything I have. All of these are apps that are available to me. Here I'm back on my list of sites. I have two different views, sites I'm following and sites that are promoted, because my organization may have a list of sites that they want to make sure I have access to in a mobile setting without needing to go find them. The promoted sites can include sites that my organization wants to make sure I have access to, even if I don't visit them. So this is a way that my organization can pre-configure my experience in SharePoint in a mobile setting. Let's go to the site that we've spent the most time on, Team Landon San Francisco. And this should look familiar to you. These are our apps, and you may recall that when we were adding different web parts to pages and app parts, I said each of these apps has different icons. It's helpful if you're a little familiar with them. Same thing applies here. We can, at a glance, find our announcements list because it has that megaphone. I can find contacts list very easily. Let's go to our shared documents library, just tap it, and there we are, working in our browser on a mobile device with our library. And it's not that different than when I'm working in a browser on my desktop. If, for example, I wish to look at this pre-event form, I have a menu. It shows me some basic information, not the same kind of information as when I have access to all of the properties, but a pretty good experience. And if I click, it's going to open it in Word Online in a browser. This is not an app. This is Word in a browser. We already know how to use this, and we know that Team Landon SF is a link that takes us right back to the library that we came from.